What are you looking at? No, you're trying to see my paper.
Oh, I just went up there.
It's my script for practice. All right.
Nick, you guys have had a lot of travel here in the first, 12 weeks of the season. I'm curious, prior to the season, did you adjust how you wanted to do different things during the year because of all the trips, or if you've had to make any adjustments during the year?
Yeah, we adjust things as the trip calls for. So you have a contingency plan for everything, and we did that accordingly this year. And you do the same thing as you get later through the year. You do the same thing, if you get banged up in a game. So all things are accounted for, yes.
Do you see more enthusiastic and eager blocking from receivers and tight ends when you have a running back who can take it to the house?
I think that's just been the culture that we've had. Is it's the standard of how we block on the perimeter. That's something that former wide receiver coach, former wide receiver, that's not a negotiable of how we block out there and what we do. And so we talk about that a lot. I think it's awesome that they are having so much fun with it now. Yes, but I think that's. Some of those long runs get sprung the way they do because they got the blocking downfield. Covey and AJ on the first play of the second half had huge blocks. We did a great job on the backside, but those guys had great blocks to finish the thing off. And so I just think that's our, and our guys know that selflessness, being a good teammate, connecting, part of that is selflessness. And that's what it takes, and those guys have been that. And we show it and we point it out every time they're downfield blocking. And so, I'd like to sit here and say, yeah, the long runs make it so, but I think it's the other way around because these guys have always been like this. That's another reason, why the long runs are happening, that the 10-yard runs turn into 50-yard runs. Now, Saquon has a lot to do with that as well, but all that helps.
You guys have had a lot of success by just committing to it and eventually breaking through in the second half with physical defense, the Ravens. Is there enough faith in the running game if it's a little bit even more slow going to start that you could commit to it still?
Yeah, we know this is a good defense. We're a good offense, so it's going to be it's good on good. Same thing, vice versa, with their offense and our defense, and so. You see how the game plays out. You never know how the game is going to play out. You never know what the situations are going to be. But you'll see how it goes as it goes.
If we had told you before the season you'd be 32nd in pass attempts and first in rushing, would you think that was possible? And is there any benefit to maybe looking at teams that, like the Steelers and Ravens, have been teams that have played that way for a long time? Is there any benefit of looking at those teams when you look like you start to become that?
Yeah, I think again we'll do anything we need to do to win the football game. This last month of the season has been very unique. Where I'm not sure we've passed it. How many times we've even passed it in the fourth quarter in October, or pardon me, November. Where the heck are we? Yeah, November. I'm not even sure how long or how many times we've passed it in the fourth quarter because we haven't needed to. We've been in 4-minute offense, and that doesn't mean in 4-minute offense you play your offense, but when you're up 2-3 scores, you tend to play it even more conservative in those particular cases. And so I don't look too much into that. Again, we'll do it if we need it. We have the ability to throw it when we need to throw it, and we have the ability to run it when we need to run it, and that's a good thing to have. And so, but the game dictates, just like he asked me a second ago about this game. Every game dictates something different. And we'll see how each game goes.
Two more. Line of questioning to you over the summer was about being a CEO coach. And seeing the success that John Harbaugh's had in his career, and then you see, the Steelers, the Lions, teams like that atop the standings. You guys, do you think it's coincidence that the CEO coaches are having that type of success?
I think, it's all the guys you just mentioned, Coach Tomlin, Coach Harbaugh, Coach Campbell, I think those are the three you mentioned. Like, those are all really good coaches and really good organizations, and they've done a phenomenal job. Guys that I've looked to and tried to learn from afar from, right? And so I think that has a lot to do with it. Again, just trying to do what everything that I can do to help us win football games, if that's whatever that may be. And so I don't know. I can't answer that question. I just know what works for the Philadelphia Eagles and what we're trying to do, but can't say enough how much respect I have particularly, all three of those guys, but with us playing Coach Harbaugh this week, Coach Harbaugh, I mean, man, he's been I really admire his, his family background. I really admire his, his consistency of how good he's been throughout his career. The consistent winning, the changing of it's just really impressive.
How much have you guys had to coach up Saquon in terms of patience, vision? Obviously players are always still developing. Was there something you needed to do there to help him in that regard?
With patience and vision, no.
Not bouncing things outside.
Not really. I mean, if there's something on tape that we need to correct, we correct. But those two things, to me, were not something that we looked at as an issue of him coming in, and it hasn't been since we've been here. I just think we coach him up on the details that we have and the footwork that we have and the ball security and the different things like that. But to me, he's got really good vision and patience and everything. And again, he can just beat you so many multiple ways.
All right.